The second episode of Domino Masters did not disappoint. These episodes have been thrill rides for me so far. Domino Masters is a show that airs every Wednesday at 9, 8 central on Fox, and you can also stream the episodes on Hulu the next day. With 16 teams going head to head to make the most creative builds, I'm very excited to see all the techniques and ideas that will make the big screen. I hope you'll be watching all the episodes, whether it's to see the builds, to watch the contestants as they build, or to find my name on the fourth screen of the end credits. This week we got to meet our second set of 4 teams and watch a whole new wave of personalities and build styles unfold. On top of that, a theme of holidays was sure to give each of the platforms a very distinguished feel. Coming at you with another week of analysis, I'd say this week, we're having a Domino Masters feast. Just like last week, we have 4 new teams and a whole new set of noteworthy things from each of them. So I'll pick the one that stands out the most to me on each platform and go from there. The Bi-Coastal Brainiacs did a good job with 2 kinds of domino designs, and there's a good distinction to tell you about them both. Regular rectangular fields and walls are pre-planned designs, like this Happy New Year field, because it's very easy to plan out an image if it fits into a rectangle or other common shape. But they also have their firework, which is a freeform shape consisting of split-offs and curves. These kinds of shapes you can't pre-plan and you just have to build it freely. And the specific term that domino builders use for freestyle design is freehanding. I've already touched on this in a previous video, but it's good to have planned design and free-handed design techniques in your back pocket. Bad Boys Big Toys had a really clean and flashy build, and I'd like to talk about the clothespin release technique, because this team used it to hold back their giant bald eagle prop, which means they got it to be pretty efficient. Clothespins are really useful machine materials and a really clean way to change force, especially if you need to go from something relatively weak to something relatively strong in a short amount of time. And clothespins are super force absorbent, so using just a clothespin and a small amount of mounting tape, you can see how they hold back that eagle. But then hit the clothespin with a domino or something and your chain reaction is set. Now let's look at the OG Topplers, and the path of their build goes through a couple tables with transitions to and from those different heights. So this is a good opportunity to talk about priority in builds. How do they decide what falls first? Well, structures send dominoes flying everywhere, so it's important to topple them last. The line beneath the table topples before the structures send dominoes raining down. The skateboards are pulled before this long structure sends falling dominoes into its path. Determining the order which your projects topple is really just anticipating which ones will cause the most collateral damage, and making sure everything around them falls first. And now we have Runs in the Family, who had a really charming story. Yes, this was already mentioned in the episode, but I want to talk more about it. Storytelling in domino and machine art is becoming more prominent, but probably didn't take off until very recently, maybe even around 2020. I've seen lots of builds centered around technical ability, project variety, and even just theming, and admittedly, even I hadn't thought about basing a build around an actual story with characters, or a beginning, middle, and end. Even filming the show, I was thinking it would be a challenging aspect of the build because it was still so new to me. But this team really put their hearts into it, and more importantly, depicted their story well. I think Domino Masters could play a big part in spotlighting storytelling in domino and machine art for the future, and I really want to see it happen. Shout out to all the episode 2 teams. Whether you advanced or not, you braved the 16-hour build challenge and you have quite a lot to show for it. That's a win in my book. One last thing I'd like to mention is that as a producer and consultant, I also had the opportunity to make these interstitial builds that you see Steve and Eric talking about here. Mark and I built a whole bunch of these, and this week it looks like one made it into the episode. But there are other ones, being used as promotional footage and YouTube clips instead, and they all have more in-depth analysis on dominoes and machines, quite similar to these videos that I'm making. So I'll link those in the description and the end screen, go watch those too. That is my analysis of the second week of Domino Masters. It's been a lot of fun to watch so far, and I absolutely love making these videos. The qualifying round is in full steam, and I know there will be much more to come, so I hope you stick around. With that, I will see you with more Domino Masters analysis next week.